How's it going, everyone? College Lefty, and in this video I ranked the top 10 players at each position in MLB The Show 23, so let's go ahead and get right into it. We're starting off this list with some catchers, and I want you to keep in mind that some of this list is personal preference. For example, here I have Gary Sanchez at 8 and Johnny Bench at 7. Some people might have these guys ranked a little bit higher or a little bit lower, depending on your personal preference as well. So try and keep that in mind. I'm also not going to be getting into too many of the captain boosts. We're only going to talk about a couple of those guys. I'm also not going to include any supercharged players, just because certain guys are supercharged throughout the entire year, and some people might look at this video a couple weeks from now. With that being said, I think the top 2 catchers in the game are Kensuke Kondo and JT Realmuto. I think those 2 guys kind of speak for themselves. I also like Kangwan Galigalao, and I also like Salvador Perez there as well. As we get into the first baseman, there are a couple people that missed out on the list in terms of secondary positions. And I've also added a few players to this list that have first base as a secondary. So with that said, I do like this Paul Goldschmidt more as a platoon player. I think he has a lot of value off the bench. For example, this 99 overall Jeff Bagwell might be in the top 5 for you. For me, I have him at the 7th spot with Miguel Cabrera at number 6. And at number 5, I do in fact have Buck O'Neil. I think this is with the captain boost. I would say I probably wouldn't rank him at the 5th spot without it. But I think he's one of the only viable captains at this current moment. I do have Mark McGwire at number 4 in terms of first baseman. I think Jock Peterson, Lou Gehrig, and Babe Ruth are all better first baseman options. I personally like to use a lefty over there, and we could also plug in Munetaka Murakami, right? As we get into the second baseman, I'm starting it off with Martin Dehigo. I think him with the captain boost is really good. He's also a power hitter, can really play anywhere on the field. I think with the captain boost, you could put him in the top 10 for most positions. But we're at second base, right? Could put Craig Biggio in the catcher list as well. Luis Urias at number 7. Miguel Vargas at number 6. This card is pretty good. One of the few 96 overall cards that kind of made the list out of that future star pack. At number 5, Tim Anderson. I think he's a viable option this year. Number 4, Gleyber Torres. I think he has a little bit better swing than Tim Anderson, even though Tim Anderson has better contact. At number 3, we have Robinson Cano. And if you're looking for more of a utility guy, Jeff McNeil at number 2. Right? Robinson Cano is more of a pure power hitter, but that Jeff McNeil card should be on your team or at least somewhere on the bench. Ketel Marte at number 1. I think he's above and beyond every second baseman in the game, other than some of these guys at shortstop now that also get second base as a secondary position. At number 10, Javi Baez. Number 9, Wander Franco. Number 8, Bo Bichette. This one and the next one, Bobby Witt Jr. Kind of interchangeable. It depends on what you would prefer, right? Bobby Witt has a little bit more speed, less contact versus lefties, less fielding. But he does make up for it in the clutch attribute. At number 6, I think Jeremy Pena is still one of the better shortstops, but I do have Xander Bogaerts a little bit ahead of him. Even though Pena has the speed and the defense, Bogaerts to me has a much better swing. At number 4, we have Anthony Volpe. I think you might have him ranked slightly higher, but I went ahead and put Francisco Lindor at number 3. And I'm ready for the comment section. I'm probably going to get killed for this, but I put Derek Jeter at number 2, and Trey Turner is my best shortstop in MLB The Show 23. I think he's a lot better than Jeter. I don't even think it's really close, and that's probably where I'm going to get killed in the comment section. But at number 10, for third base, we have Gio Urshela, and I thought about putting Eugenio Suarez in this spot, but I would probably go with more of a contact hitter, even though Eugenio Suarez does have a great swing. At number 9, we have Brooks Robinson. You could probably plug and play this card at second base or shortstop, and he'll also be pretty good, probably within the top 10 for that list or for those rankings as well. At number 8, Rafael Devers. He always has a really nice swing. At number 7, Yoan Moncada, a switch hitting third baseman that also can play second base. At number 6, we have Gunnar Henderson. A lot of these middle infielders, or at least third baseman / middle infielders, corner infield positions, can really be versatile. I think a lot of these guys are interchangeable. They're all really good at their respective spots. But at number 5, Hank Aaron. Don't really see too many people using that card, but he is really good. At number 4, Eddie Matthews. And at number 3, Manny Machado. Some people might have those two guys flip-flopped. Just depends on whether you would prefer a lefty or a righty. Machado, I think, is the more complete player. At number 2, we have Munetaka Murakami. Could easily put him in the top 4 or 5 for first baseman. And at number 1, we have Chipper Jones. I don't think that is a debate at all. But now we're moving into outfielders. I went ahead and just ranked top 10 outfielders in general. And at number 10, Jim Edmonds. At number 9, Juan Soto. And those two guys kind of are, really good left-handed bats. I don't know if I would use Juan Soto out there in the outfield. I might use him as a DH. We're going to get into that a little bit later. Same type of thing here with Jazz Chisholm. He's a really good card, but he's mainly good against righties. He's better out there on defense than any of those other lefties, but I don't know. There's something about his swing that I don't necessarily like as much as some of these other outfielders. But I think the best outfield you can come up with right now is Julio Rodriguez, Sammy Sosa, and Mike Trout. Personally, I'm using Julio Rodriguez, Mike Trout, and Ketel Marte just because my team is pretty stacked all around. But as we get into the top 10 pitchers, I have Satchel Paige at number 10. That might come as a surprise to a lot of people. Kind of surprising to me as well. But I think especially with that captain boost, a lot of the Negro League players, starting pitchers, could be in this top 10. John Donaldson is one of the best left-handed pitchers, but for this list, we have Madison Bumgarner as the only starting left-handed pitcher in this top 10 list, which I find kind of surprising. But at the same time, I think the best guys right here are Yu Darvish, Bob Gibson, Shohei Ohtani. You could make a case to be the best pitcher in the game just based on his value and the fact you can use him as a hitter. But I think Roki Sasaki as a pure pitcher is a little bit better. And I have yet to try out Pedro Martinez. Pedro Martinez might actually be like 2 or 3 on this list. But I have to put him at 1 just because of his rarity and the fact they added in Outlier. I think will make him play a lot better than he has in years past. But we get into closing pitchers, and Trevor Hoffman, I think, is the most usable captain in the game right now. He boosts all relief pitchers on your team, and that's what I have a lot of these guys ranked in the top 10. A lot of them are relief pitchers. Some closing pitchers, as we get into the top 5 here with Edwin Diaz, we have Devin Williams. The one card I left off the list would be Rob Nen. I don't think he's as good as some of these other guys, but you might think he's better than Trevor Hoffman or maybe Lee Smith. At number 2, I think Gregory Soto is the most valuable closing pitcher, as he is a free lefty in the bullpen right now, and you have to have lefties in the bullpen. But now, as Eric Gagne finishes off the closing pitcher list, we get into the DHs, and I really think you could use anybody from the list that I picked so far that you're not able to put out there on your team, right, on defense. But to me, I think Jock Peterson and Eloy Jimenez have been the best DHs for my squad personally. But until next time, I'm College Lefty, and that is my top 10 players ranked at each position in MLB The Show 23. Until next time, peace out.